they're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
People are waiting for the Pope to react to what Trump has said as regards the continuous killing of Christians in Nigeria. And he has finally come out to react. He said what? He said the killings of Christians in Nigeria must stop. And at the same time, that Nnamdi Kanu is a prophet and the Nigerian government must do the needful by releasing him because he's saying the truth. What's your take as regards this?
Yes, concerning what Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has been talking about for years now, unbelievably, it has become very glaring and significant all over the world now. The world leaders are discussing it as I'm talking to you. The issue of Christian genocide, the Fulani herdsmen attack on Nigeria soil, has triggered to a point, or has gotten to the peak where it is being discussed, at the global level now, and it is a sign that the U.S. intervention will lead to a total breakup of Nigeria. Yes, and I can tell you that it looks like Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also conscious of that, given the political structure that is lopsided now on the side of the southern part of the country as against the northern part of the country, which is being seen as a major target if there's going to be any decision at that global level on Nigeria. But the Catholic Association of Nigeria, and of course the other global Catholic associations, I'm not talking about Pope Leo himself, who has added a voice to what Donald Trump, United States of American government is trying to do in Nigeria. He made it very clearly that from what he has been getting as report, shows that Nigerian government is culpable and over the issue of killings, and the intervention of the United States of American government under Donald Trump is a welcome development, because series of reports has come through to Vatican powers, where the Pope sits, as the lordship in that silicon nation. Let me just use that word like that. So right there in Sicily, the Pope has taken a stand concerning the proposed invasion in Nigeria. A lot of people does not understand what that really means at this point in time. That that the separation and disintegration of Nigeria is coming by gradually, and is gradually getting momentum. Nigeria is being put on the world map now, and every hand and everything is discussing. Also, if you're talking about Christian genocide currently now, with Mazin Nnamdi Kanu currently, struggling to, free himself from the illegality of the DSS and the Nigerian government, is also in synergy with what the world leaders are trying to decide at this point in time. For the Pope to have added his voice on that regard means it's a clear go ahead for United States government, and of course the religious organizations all over the world. I'm talking about Christian organization, which of course the Pope is the head of all the churches all over the world, and he has also added his voice. For the Pope to have said something about Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, and of course said about something about genocide in Nigeria, I believe it has getting traction all over the world currently now. And the issue now is how the Nigerian is being given a limited time to decide whether to do the needful or not. But it has come to the global limelight now that the Biafran movement or cause, let me just put, or sovereignty or recognition, let me put it that way, is being becoming something that is actually attached to the issue of the Christian killings in Nigeria, and a lot of proposal has been put there at the Oval Office. That in case of breakup, the southern part of the country, Biafrans who are majorly Christians should be allowed to gain their sovereignty, from the northern caliphate, who have insisted that it is a must that Nigeria must definitely embrace Sharia. And Sharia on the southern part of the country is definitely going to lead to unfortunate uprising. And the reason why Americans are here, with full options being put on the table at that Oval Office where Donald Trump is currently sitting. We are hearing now that the government of the United States of America has reopened, and decisions are being taken in that regard. Calling for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release is not just a statement. It has is something that the world want to see happen. And unfortunately, the Nigerian government has not been able to establish any issue or indictment, or against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So what we are seeing about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not prosecution but persecution, and that is where the world is getting angry over the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And remember, the symbol of Christianhood in Nigeria now is being built around Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has actually become a phenomenon, when it comes to the persecution of Christians in Nigeria, the killings, and there's no doubt about that. Nobody can deny jihadist tendencies in Nigeria. Nobody can deny, that certain sects and forces are bent on, crippling the entire southern part of the country. Because in the north, they are actually demanding for caliphate. In the middle belt, which are majorly Christians, are being massacred as part of the ongoing, jihadist movement, to take over territories and impose Sharia and Islamic law. So and that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has represented over the years. That's what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has advocated and brought to global and international limelight. But unfortunately, Nigerian government are trying to manipulate that process of judgment, and we are seeing a stiff resistance to that regard. So kudos to bishops and Catholic organizations all over the world who has added their voice to the ongoing trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, the United States of America, not only the United States of America that is involved completely now, more nations are showing interest, especially coming from the EU aspect, yes, and NATO nations, are also joining the Baltic nations to call for the sovereignty of Biafra. And what baffles a lot of people is that the Middle Belt currently now are saying that it is only Biafran sovereignty restoration that will stop the ongoing Osman Dafodio descendants from carrying out this manner of senseless and unnecessary killing in the name of faith or whatever, or establishment of Islamic government.
But from what the Pope, prior to this time, when about 200 were massacred in Benue, he came out to say that the government should take charge, like the current president should make sure that he take charge of the security of the country. But from what he's saying now, do you not think when the likes of the Pope are coming out to interfere in the security of Nigeria, the likes of Donald Trump, do you not think, just like you said, do you not think there's no way as regards this, that this might lead to the final integration of Nigeria?
Of course, that is the fear of the northern hegemony, and the northern hemisphere and their political actors are that from that axis, But the problem is that we are having reservations over the decision of the Southwesterners, who are almost 50%, Muslims, and it happens that the Sultan of Sokoto is the president of all the Muslims, in Nigeria. And so, if we look at it from different perspectives, and what is actually is this jihadists looking for? They are looking for a sovereignty that would guarantee a caliphate and Islamic government. Why the southern Christians led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is soliciting and asking that Nigeria should be granted a nation called Biafra as a Christian nation, and by so doing, we will have been able to solve the issue of one Nigeria, which the jihadists and other factors are using as infiltration, in killing and disaliving thousands of Christians all over the world. But they can't have it that more Christians are being disalived than Muslims. If you look at the recent statement credited to ISIS, they said it very clearly that they would never stop killing Christians in Nigeria. So if ISIS can come out and make that kind of statement, no, what does that actually tells you? It tells you that the target, is not really what other people are thinking. The target has always been the Christian in a dominated geographical area, and the quest to conquer them and subdue them to Islamic government, the way they want it to be. A lot of things are playing underground, unfortunately. But the fact still remains that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has become the face of Christendom in Nigeria. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has become the face of resistance. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has become the face, of which every negotiation will be centered around him.
Some of the people chatting his name, when he went to the Supreme Court to submit, that petition against Omotoso. But do you not think that with the way things are going now, do you not think his name is becoming bigger and bigger every now and then?
Okay. And that's what a lot of people are saying. Unfortunately, Obasanjo made a very, very sensitive statement concerning the Nigerian judiciary and the way Amana Bola Ahmed Tinubu is bent on handling Mazin Nnamdi Kanu's, the case. People, if Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist, people will not be hailing him right there at the Supreme Court premises. So it tells you a lot of things about Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. He's gaining momentum. He's gaining, publicity. More and more followers, are beginning to queue into the Nnamdi Kanu ideology. And as one of the, renowned, freedom fighter, heading a movement that has to do with, agitation for separation and sovereignty of a nation called Biafra. So thousands and millions of Christians, whether in the north, in the middle belt, in the southwest, wherever they are looking at Biafra as a refuge, where they can actually be protected from whatever that is happening within the northern hemisphere. And that is why the international community and the world leaders at this point in time will look at it deeply, that it is not a matter of coming to intervene militarily, but how can you solve this problem and solve it permanently? And that is what the EU is trying to tell Donald Trump, and other religious organizations are trying to tell Mr. Trump, that I think it has gotten to a point that Biafra should be the solution of Christian killing in Nigeria.